Okay, the video auto cut off just now, so I had to redo. Okay, yeah. So this question, number 6, is a very nice question now. The question says by squaring this, or otherwise show that this one. So you can actually do another method. Let's call otherwise, but please don't bother. Normally it's very very tough. Okay, now so you take the hint that they give you. So you simply go and square this. This is an expression, there's no equation. So you just square this, then no use, or no use because you don't have an equation. Alright? So what you need to do, right, is to understand that this is actually your identity that you can see in your formula sheet, right? Then when you square both sides, 1 square is just 1. You square this is this, you square this is this. This times 2, you get this. Alright? Now you notice that this is what you want, so you keep it on the left hand side, the rest you throw to the right. Okay? And when you throw to the right, okay, ignore this. When you throw to the right, what you will get is 1 minus 2 sine square cos square x. Correct? And if you're familiar with your double angle, you will recognize that, oh, there is a sine x cos x here multiplied together. Correct? And sine 2x is 2 sine x cos x. So don't you agree that this part here is actually what you want here, but you have to square it lah. So you will get sine 2x over 2 sine x cos x. When I square this whole thing, I square this, right? I square this, I will get sine square 2x over 4. And this is my sine square x cos square x. There, I replace this with this. So you can do things like that. You box it up, okay, and then you draw an arrow here, and then you continue. Now you sub this in, right? But you must draw arrow and all that, okay, so that you guide the marker. Then you will get half here, right? 1 minus half sine square 2x over 4. This one is done already. That's all. Okay. Now, after you have shown this, you look at the next part, right? The keyword, please underline keywords, is hence. So hence means you have to use your earlier part result, which is this whole thing. Okay, this whole thing equals that thing, right? So I can just isolate this and say that I replace it with this, which is what I'm going to do here. So this is replaced by this. Why do we want to do that? Because this is easier to manipulate than this. Okay, and now everybody take note, when you are solving trigo equations, right? Please use the thing that I asked you to use, and that is add mat, right? I know many of you find it very troublesome, say childish, like kindergarten like that. Then you don't want to use this, right? But because you don't use this, right, you miss out on certain things here and there. This is really a guide to help you, okay? Now, what is this E? It stands for equivalent form lah. So what is equivalent form? Equivalent form means you have to express this, or now is this, into sine or cosine or tangent of some argument equals to a number. Okay, so you must express it in this very basic cell form lah, equals to a number. So I isolate sine square and then I square root both sides. Now many of you forgot to put plus minus. When you yourself square root both sides, you must put plus minus. If you don't put plus minus, it is wrong. Okay, now this is what we call the equivalent form already. So you have done this already. Okay, next, what is this D? This D is a domain. Domain means you check this, right? Check this, this is x, right? But what you're dealing with, the argument here is 2x. So you have to change this domain to 2x so that you know, it means you times 2 times 2 times 2. You know that for 2x, it can only take on values from 3 pi to 4 pi. anything outside this you cannot accept for 2x. Okay, now done already, you've done this, so that is a check for you. All right, otherwise some of you are dealing with this, then it's totally wrong. Now the next thing is mode. Is it radian mode or degree mode? Obviously no degree, so it's radian. So this is how you check. This first A is alpha, so it's you need to find alpha. This second A is the ASTC. Okay, so you find alpha first. No need to write basic angle. You just straight away write alpha faster. You take the inverse sine of this. Okay, ignore the negative value. Just go and inverse this, and then you will get this to 5SF. Alright, done already. Alpha. Now determine ASTC. That means where in the world does the quadrant, does the angle lie in? So you look, we are now dealing with 2x. We are not dealing with x yet. X is the last one. Okay, then you check your domain. Okay, x is the last one. So now we're dealing with 2x. 2x is between 3 pi and 4 pi. And 2x, this sign, right, we want it to be either positive or negative. That means it can be here, can be here, can be here, can be here. Because whether positive or negative also is acceptable, you see. Alright. Then now, what do? We have to now only work within this domain. Okay, so you see, pi is here, right? That's pi. We need to go to 3 pi. 2 pi, yeah. That's pi, that's 2 pi. Then 3 pi is here, right? So your 2x is between 3 pi to 4 pi. So it's in these two quadrant, not here. Not here. Okay, so this quadrant can or not? Can. It's negative. This quadrant can or not? It's negative also. Can. Because negative or positive also can. You follow? Okay, now, which means your angle has to be in this quadrant, and your alpha is here, right? So don't you agree that it is 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi plus alpha? There, 3 pi plus alpha. That's your first answer. Okay, and next one, next one, right? It can go to here, this quadrant, right? And don't you agree again that this is alpha? This is 4 pi, right? 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, right? So it's 4 pi minus alpha. That will be this angle. That's how you get this. And then you divide this by 2, divide this by 2, you will get these two answers. That's all. Okay? So that's how you use AddMath. Now you check the last D. You ask, hey, what is this D? Or the last D, right, is to check whether these two answers fall within your domain. Okay? So 3 pi is 369. No, sorry. Not this one, sorry. This x, now we're talking about x, right? This 3 pi over 2, okay, is smaller than this one. Alright? And 2 pi is 6 point something bigger than this one. So this falls within this range. So it's totally correct. Okay, you need to check things like that, okay? You trust me, you use AddMath. It's designed to help you not miss out anything when you solve trigo equations. Now the next one, they tell you there's a piece of wire length L. Now this topic is on area. It's an Emaths topic. It's on area and area of sector and arc length So r theta is your S, which is your arc length here. Area of the sector, this is a sector, is half r square theta. Theta must be in radians. Okay, and this actually was like a piece of cake. And then you cut out a slice of the cake, right? So this is called the sector. Understand? Because it's smaller, so it's minor sector. This side is the major sector. Now when I draw a line across like that, of course this is a triangle. This is a sector. This part here, when you take the triangle, when you take the sector minus the triangle, right? This is called a segment. You need to know all these names well, alright? Now that we know all these names, let us see how we can solve this question. Is bent, this length L, right, is bent to form the shape of a sector OPQ. OPQ. So that means they're trying to tell you the perimeter of this is L lah. Follow? And then the center is O, radius is R, and the angle is in radians. Very good. Okay? If it's not in radians, then you need to convert lah. Take note pi radians. No need to write radians. Actually, radians is just a ratio. Radians is pi radians or pi is equal to 180. Okay? So you can do the necessary conversion if you need to. Now, they want you to show that the area of the sector. We just said just now area of sector is half r squared theta. Alright? But what they want you to show, there's no theta. There is half. There is r. Okay? But there is no theta. There's even L. So what do we do? Definitely you need to use this equation. And you need to change this to L or R in terms of R. L and R or whatever. So you need another equation. It's always like that one, okay? E maths, A maths, they want you to find another relationship, right? Then you sub away this thing that is not here. You have your N in mind, the aim, your aim. Aim sounds like aim, right? Your aim is this, okay? So you need another equation. So the only clue that they give you was this one. The only clue that they give you was this L. So this perimeter is L. But you know this R theta here. So isn't L equals to R theta plus R? And then because we want to replace this theta, right? We want to replace this theta. So you make theta the subject. So this is your number 2. Then you sub 2 into 1, throw in here. Then you will be able, you cancel off, then be R, right? Then you multiply half R L, half R times this is minus R squared. So this is your area, which is proven to be the same as this already. So that's all. Alright, now next part. Whenever you see R can vary, and then A has a stationary point. If R can vary means change. If R can change, right? R can change, that means A can change also, lor. Correct or not? Okay, so what you need to do is they tell you R can change, always differentiate. They are trying to tell you you can differentiate. Differentiate with respect to what? Respect to R, because R can change. Okay? So you when you differentiate this, you will get this. Wait, show you. R, there's only one R here, right? Power 1, power throw down, power minus 1, R 0 means 1. So it's half L. Then you differentiate this, is 2R, right? Finish. Okay? Then for stationary value, don't you agree that you must set this to 0? DAD, write this, DADR equals 0. Okay, so that the examiner knows very clearly that this is your DADR. Because sometimes, right, your earlier part wrong, then he doesn't know where this come from, because your earlier part can be very messy. So you write this, right, he at least knows that you know. Okay? But of course, you must still write whatever you have obtained from the first part. Now, your job is to find R in terms of L, right? So make R the subject, you will get this. Finish. Okay? Take note, this is the same as this. They are equivalent. Okay? Now, next, we haven't finished, Some of you thought that finished already. We haven't finished. They also want the corresponding value of theta. Okay? Now, how to find the corresponding value of theta? How? There's no theta here. So you go back to the previous part. Alright? Did you find any theta? Yes, you have a theta here. Okay? So you already know find R in terms of L and its corresponding value of theta. You already know R equals 1/4 L, right? So you can sub in what? You sub in here and here. Okay? Because this got L, down here got L, the L will disappear. So some of you very concerned, How my answer will have L? No lah, the L will disappear. Okay. So you see, there's no sorry, the R. Okay, you can also do this. You can either sub this or sub this. It doesn't matter. You will get the same answer. All right. That's all for this particular part. Now, this nature thing surely come out on, okay? Once you have stationary value, they ask you for the nature of this stationary value. Now, there's only one stationary value, right? Okay, what is this stationary value? Because R can change. Some of you are confused. Hey, got R, got L. Which one do I use? You see, can you see the R is the 主角? Why? Because R can vary. Okay, and then later they also ask you to find R in terms of L. So R is the main character. Understand? And your R is 1/4 L, right? So you don't worry, you just go ahead and do it. You can either differentiate again or you use the first derivative test. Okay? Let's say you use the first no. Before let's say first. Now which one do you think is better is a better test to use for this case? It's always you look back. Okay, look back at this this one. You have differentiated once already, right? If you were to differentiate again, isn't it very easy? And it will also give you a very nice number. That's why for this case, okay, then these are your eyes, right? So this is a maximum. You must take clearly maximum. Okay, so this is the better method. But some of you went to do this, then you are confused by the L. The L, don't worry, okay? You know R, the 主角, right, is 1/4 L, right? You know that at this R value, the dy dx is 0, so the slope is horizontal line. Then you take slightly less and slightly more. Okay? Slightly less, you take a look at your dA, dl. Very simple one. You throw in slightly less, slightly more. Here. Half minus slightly less than 1/4. Then this will be positive. So it will be a maximum value. Okay? So do not be scared or whatever. Wait. Do not be scared or whatever, okay? You just go ahead and do it. Now you have to state very clearly, whichever case you use, you have to state very clearly that the area is maximum. Okay? And please, I want you to take note. I mentioned before, you cannot say 0.24 L here. And this is 0.26 L here. Cannot, okay? Cannot. It must be in this convention, slightly less than, slightly greater than. You cannot also say less than 0.25 L here. Then this one, I choose greater than 0.25. It's wrong, okay? It's wrong. Okay? Now we go to the next one. This one is a very sad story. This one is a very easy question. We have done it many times. This one, right? They say that when x is a particular value, the rate of increase of y respect to time. This one, if you were to translate to mathematical language, right, is dy dt. Then half is just half, lor. Then the rate of increase, this one, is just dx dt, correct? So what they're trying to tell you, right, is dy dt equals half dx dt. Am I correct? Okay, then next they give you this. This is another sad story. This one is just a big X. That means inside got things to differentiate to the power of n. So you go and do what quotient rule whatever, then you throw the 3 up, 3 power minus 1, then the whole thing becomes very complicated for yourself. Okay, so don't do that. Please recognize that this is a big X to the power of n, correct? Alright, now let's try and differentiate this. So because it's a x to the power n, right? Differentiate this is throw this down. So 2/3 times half. Yeah, I work out here. Half 2/3, right? Then 6x plus 7 power minus 1. Some of you the power totally gone. Then times, many of you forgot this also. Differentiate this and then times. If it's integrate, you differentiate then divide by 6, okay? This will give you these 2 and then this one throw below. That's how you get this. Alright? Now, the question wants you to find the value of x. This x. Now, if I can have a number to be equals to this, I win already, right? If I know what is dy dx, I win already, right? Now, don't you agree you can from here get dy dx? Oh, it's something like this divided by this, then you flip you flip this, okay? Then you get dy dx, right? So it's half lor. Okay, now please please don't do this please don't what I'm going to do now you don't do you do cancel, cancel then this one throw below, cannot once you cancel, although your answer correct, right, they mark you wrong already because we mentioned before d dt is an operator. You cannot cancel like that one. You cannot cancel like that one it's if you cancel like that, right, it's as if 4 divided by 2, right, you say wow, this one I cancel this dot, cannot like that one cannot okay. You see you see 4 divided by 2 is 2, right? Actually you cancel this dot, I cancel this dot, don't like this dot, then it become 4 minus 2 also 2 the answer is the same, right? Answer is the same but then it's wrong, okay? The concept is wrong. Can so you just in your mind you flip, right, then you just immediately write dy dx, then you throw here, and then you can find the answer already. That's all, okay? So all these small little things you please take note. Okay, the next part is concentration. 3 hours also is in hours, must remember, okay? It's not in minutes or seconds, must be in hours. Later part, right, you may need to put hours, put hours. Must or not? Actually no need because the unit is there already, okay? So after digesting a certain amount is this one. So find the time interval. Time interval is your final answer going to be like 2 hours or 3 hours? No, time interval means you must have like inequalities, okay? So this means means you must have inequalities as your answer, okay? That's what they mean by time interval. Now you want the time interval in which the drug concentration is increasing. So whenever they say phrase it like that, whatever is increasing or whatever is decreasing, right, you must dc over dt, like that, okay? Can so whatever they say here, increasing or decreasing, you go and differentiate, then you find out when it is greater than 0 because it's increasing. If it's decreasing, you put less than 0. Alright, now differentiating this is a piece of cake, but some of you again you throw this up and then you put 200 minus 1, then you do some of you do product rule, double product rule, like product rule this, then you plus, then product rule. Wow, very complicated. Don't do that. You need to know what's going on. This is just a with a minus a x to the power n. This is just a doggy. So differentiate this is just this. Differentiate this 3, throw down, right? Throw down the 3 power minus 1. When I say throw down the 3, it doesn't mean throw down the 3 then the top no more power. It's not like that one. It's times the 3 times the 3 then minus 1 like that. Okay? Yeah, so that's what you mean. That's what I mean. Okay, then the other part here, right? Very messy. Now, never do this, okay? Many of you like to do this. And then it causes you a lot of problems, okay? You don't do these kind of things, okay? You don't do this. And then you go and times then you go and square root both sides. Don't do that. Keep everything to one side like that. Then you multiply, you remove the denominator, okay? Then you use your quadratic formula, but in this case it's very simple. And many of you wrote the final answer after this as, okay, you must draw the, okay, this is a happy face, right? Then this is t, you write t here. Okay, so because you want it to be less than 0, so it's here, right? Many of you wrote the answer as t you blindly do lah. That means you are not thinking, you just do. How can time to be negative? So it's wrong, okay. So because time greater than 0, so this is the final answer, okay. I hope you understand what I mean, just now what I wrote here, right, you after this step you can write, okay, you can write that, not a problem. Minus 13 over 3, but then after that you must say, oh, since t greater or equal to 0 cannot be negative so this is the answer, okay. And the equal sign must be there because time can be equal to 0, okay. Now the next part is what we call modeling. Means there are many phenomenon in life, right, where you can make predictions, so you use all these formulas, right, to formulate to help you make predictions. So this stone, you throw it. Actually, last year you had done something like that, and then but I think forgot already lah. This is called height, correct, in meters. And this one very important, you must know what this means and what this means, because they can ask you to explain what your answer means, and then this is where you need to say, oh, the height lah, horizontal distance lah, whatever, okay. So you need to know what all this represents, okay. Now given that the maximum height is h, right, attained by the stone is 2.4. Find the value of A, and the corresponding horizontal height in traveled by the stone. Horizontal height is here. That means they want you to find, given h, maximum h, right? They want you to find the x later, but of course you must find the A first, this A. Okay, so how to do this? One look, you should know that it's a quadratic function kind of modeling question. Alright, so what you do is this doggy stays here, remember? Then you need to make the coefficient of x square 1, right? So take out minus a. If you take out minus a, you must take out minus a here. Oh, I had to skip steps, Okay, I show you. Otherwise, some of you won't understand. You must take minus a out. Alright, so what is left behind? Is it like that? If you write like that, which many of you did, gone already, because your this sign minus times plus is not plus. That's why you must always check. I told you all it's worthwhile to check this step. Okay? Now this doggy here, stay outside, nothing to do with you, okay? Now what we want to do is to complete the square for this part. So minus a remains. This becomes, put a big square bracket, then the doggy stays outside. So a stays outside, doggy stays outside, the minus stays outside. So what's inside? Only this fella. We focus on this fellow, okay? X. Then minus this one, don't put the x here. Some of you putting the x there. This is 1 minus 1 over a. So it's minus 1 over divided by 2 is 2a. Then you put a square here. Then you minus away this extra term. Square this is 1 over 4a square, right? Now this is the part where again some of you make mistake. When you open up, you must be very careful. There should be no x here. Minus times minus is plus. Then a divided by a square, you get 1 over 4a. That is where many of you make mistake, okay? Now, right after you have gotten this, then you look, maximum height is 2.4. So, don't you agree that this is your maximum height or minimum height? This is minimum, and it happens when x equals to 1 over 2a, because you must make this 0, so your maximum point is this. Then you sub in this because this is the maximum height, right? Maximum height. And it happens when x equals to this. Alright, then you work out, then you get this, then you throw in. That's your answer. Okay? Now, will there be a modeling question coming out? very very likely because your syllabus right, they take out a lot of things. Okay, of course they will test you more in depth into the old topics lah. I mean, this is considered a newer topic okay, so I'm going to show you another way of doing this question which some of you did. But I want to clarify something. Those of you who did question number 9 using differentiation, right? Because you see, oh, you see this you see this where's the word, you see maximum, wow, immediately you think of differentiation. That's good lah, that's good but what I'm trying to say is, if you had done it using differentiation method, right, can you now or just now learn this method also? You know why not? Because if a question like this comes up in quadratic form, right, definitely the first part they will ask you to complete the square, or they may ask you to complete the square. Then they may say, given the five hands, hands find it isn't given that the maximum. That means they want you to use the earlier part, the completed square form. You understand me? So you must learn this method, okay? But at the same time, we learn this method also, okay? Just in case you are forced to use any one of these methods. Okay, so it's not about corrections, it's not about, oh, I got it correct, don't bother really. It's not about that, it's about having this love for learning. Okay, so now how to do? I differentiate the h with respect to x. Power bring down, power minus 1, right? That's all. Power bring down, power minus 1, you get 1, this one 0. That's it. At maximum height, because we are told maximum height, this one equals 0, so x equal 1 over 2a. You see how this matches what you learn in your quadratic modeling is the same, Then later you remember this, you will get this also, later, then you sub in, right? When you sub in, then you find that, oh, when I sub in this and this into the equation, I can get a equal 1 over 8. And once I found a equal 1 over 8, right, I throw it here, I can get the 4. 4, you must have unit. Just now I forgot to mention. Okay, now the next part. I don't show you the answer first. They say solve this. Everybody in the world can solve this, because once you know what is A, right, you just use the quadratic formula, you will be able to get the answer. Okay, now what they want you to do now, it's not significance, okay, significance of the answers. So may I ask you, what do they want you to say? Actually, if you don't know what this English means, you just explain the answers. Okay, so you just say this one had to reject because x represents horizontal. You see, back to the story that I told you about. X represents, you see, just quote this already, can already. So you reject that one. That's number 1. Number 2, right? What does this answer mean? Okay, you must say that this represents the horizontal distance traveled by the stone. This is the important part. When it hits the ground. Why when it hits the ground? Because you see, this question here, right, they go and set this to 0. No, they go and set this to 0. That means they are trying to tell you the h is 0. Correct or not? You see, this is h, right? Okay, so actually it's like that. H equals 0, that's one equation. H equals to minus ax square plus x plus 2 over 5, that's another equation. Then they sub this into this, that's how they get this. Do you follow? So you must understand that when you find the solutions to this equation, right, you're finding the value of x when the height is 0. So you don't know how it goes. When h equals 0, what is this length that it has traveled? That's all. Okay, that's what they mean. So in the exam, don't leave blanks. You just whack. Okay. Now, the next part, right, is about principal value. Principal value, um, okay, I hope you still understand. Never mind, we go through first. Now, express without the use of a calculator. Actually, the calculator can tell you the answer straight away. You see, if you press in the what you call that, radian mode, right? Okay, wait. If you press inverse, okay, wait, I change to the correct radian mode first. Then you press inverse cosine. Then minus square root 3 over 2, right? Okay, then you press equals. You get this value, right? Oh dear, how? But because you want in terms of pi, then how? You just divide by pi. This one I told you all before. So it means 5 over 6 pi. That's your answer, lor. Okay? But wait. Yeah, but because they say without use of calculator, right? You just show a little bit of working that you understand. First of all, you must understand that principal value means it must be a one-to-one function. Okay? What do I mean by one-to-one function? You know, when we talk about cosine, if you let a equals to this, right? That means cosine a equals minus value. Cosine is negative. When you use ASTC, ASTC, when will cosine be negative? It must be in this quadrant, right? In this quadrant. Why in this quadrant and not this quadrant? Because when I draw the cosine graph, don't you agree it looks like that? We want a one-to-one function. So, wait. This is a one-to-one function, what? This is 360, right? This is 180, right? So we don't want this part. We only want this one-to-one function. So it's from 0 to 180, or what we call 0 to pi. Okay? 0 to pi. So 0 to pi can be this whole first and second quadrant. That's why if you remember, your cosine inverse x, right, is between 0 and pi. Okay? But the question, ladies and gentlemen, they are not asking you for the range. They're asking you for the principal value. That means the exact value. So the answer is actually 5 over 6. But many of you, you gave this answer the range. No, they are not asking you for the range. But of course, you need to know the range. You need to know the range. If not, you don't know that it is in this quadrant. Do you follow? Okay, so I'm explaining to you in terms of ASTC as well as in terms of the graph. Okay, we discussed just now that this is the graph whereby the principal value can fall on. Principal value meaning this of this. Okay, and just now we already said what? Cosine A. Cosine A, that means the y value is minus square root 3 over 2. Minus square root 3 over 2, isn't it below here? It cannot be on top here, right? So minus square root 3 over 2, minus square root 3 over 2 is here, right? So isn't this 90? So it must be in the second, because this is first quadrant, this is second quadrant. Remember we did that last year? So it's in the second quadrant. Yeah. So you can either draw this, or you can do this. Then you write here 5 pi over 6, or this one is pi over 6. That is considered like working already. Okay? Don't need, actually this you can write this as part of your working, but the answer is this one, okay? 5 pi over 6. A number of you actually wrote this as the answer. Wrong, Okay, now, next question, also to do with trigo. Trigo, we are not strong, alright? We will strengthen trigo in the coming days. Okay. If you're asked to express this, right, those of you who can't see that this is actually 105, okay, you can press 7 over 12 times 180, because pi is 180, right? So you take 7 over 12 times 180, right? You will get 105. Alright? Then you can work in degrees if you are more comfortable. Alright? Remember, remember all your the finger how to use and all that. I hope you still remember, okay. Then you express in the simplest rationalized form and make sure that all these are integers, is one one sorry integer